We face trials. Have you ever asked, God, why am I going through this? Many people believe that following God means a life free from pain and struggles. But the truth is, trials are a part of our Christian journey. James 1 verse 2 to 3 says, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance." Trials are not meant to break us. They are meant to shape us, strengthen us, and prepare us for greater things. Today, we will explore how to embrace trials with faith and emerge victorious. A true story, the man who lost everything but gained more. There was once a man named John, a successful businessman. Suddenly, he lost his job, his home, and his savings. At his lowest point, he asked, "God, why did you let this happen?" But instead of giving up, John turned to prayer and fasting. Months later, an unexpected opportunity came, a job better than the one he lost. Within a year, he had more than he had before. Looking back, he realized, if I hadn't lost everything, I would never have stepped into something greater. Lesson: what looks like a setback is often a setup for something better. Why does God allow trials? First, trials refine our faith. First, Peter 1 verse 7 says, "These trials will show that your faith is genuine. It is being tested as fire tests and purifies gold." Just like gold is purified in fire, our faith is strengthened through trials. Second, trials teach us dependence on God. Paul faced many trials, but he learned an important lesson. 2 Corinthians 12 verse 9. "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." Sometimes, God removes all other options so that we learn to trust Him completely. The third is, trials prepare us for greater things. Joseph went through betrayal, slavery, and prison before becoming the ruler of Egypt. Genesis 50 verse 20 says, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good." Lesson: your trials today are preparing you for a greater tomorrow. Biblical examples of trials and victory. Job, trusting God despite loss. Job lost everything, his wealth, health, and children. Yet he declared, Job 13 verse 15, "Though he slay me, yet will I trust in him." Because of his faith, God restored everything double. The next is Paul and Silas, worship in the storm. Paul and Silas were beaten and imprisoned for preaching the gospel, but instead of complaining, they worshiped. Acts 16 verse 25 to 26 says, "At midnight, Paul and Silas were praying and singing hymns to God. Suddenly, there was a great earthquake, and the prison doors were opened." Lesson: praise and worship invite God's power into your trials. The third is Jesus' ultimate trial and victory. Jesus endured the greatest trial, the cross. He suffered betrayal, pain, and death. But on the third day, he rose in victory. John 16 verse 33 says, "In this world you will have trouble, but take heart. I have overcome the world." Lesson: no trial is greater than God's power to bring victory. How to embrace trials with faith. First, change your perspective. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening?" ask, "What is God teaching me?" Romans 8 verse 28 says, "And we know that all things work together for good to those who love God." Second, stay rooted in prayer and the Word during trials. Stay close to God. Pray for strength and guidance. Meditate on scriptures that remind you of God's faithfulness. Psalm 46 verse 1 says, "God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble." Third, surround yourself with faithful believers. Trials can feel lonely, but you are not alone. Find a community of faith who will pray for you, encourage you, remind you of God's promises. Lastly, worship through the storm. Praise is a weapon. Isaiah 61 verse 3 speaks of the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness. When you worship in trials, God moves supernaturally. Your trial is temporary, but your victory is eternal. Trials do not last forever, but the strength and faith you gain will stay with you for life. Hold on to God. He is with you. Final affirmation. I will embrace my trials with faith. I trust that God is working all things for my good, and I will come out victorious.